It's no overstatement to call Robert Redford one of the most important people in Hollywood history. With his thick blonde locks, ocean blue eyes, and megawatt smile, Robert Redford has long looked like the dictionary definition of movie star. But it wasn't just his appearance that turned him into one of the most popular actors and acclaimed directors in cinema history. Upon his emergence as a boomer generation icon in the 1960s, he was merely a devastatingly handsome leading man type, an A-lister for decades for his work in classic movies like Barefoot in the Park, Jeremiah Johnson, The Sting, The Natural, The Great Gatsby, and All the President's Men. But that wasn't enough for Redford, who became one of the first big stars to segue into directing, for which he won an Oscar in 1981 for Ordinary People. But for all the art and positivity that Redford has undoubtedly unleashed into the world, he's endured a shocking amount of hardship, misfortune, death, dysfunction, calamity, and tragedy. Join us today as we look at the worst, lowest, and most trying moments in the long life and career of Robert Redford. And please let us know which other legends you would like us to cover. Robert Redford was raised in the Los Angeles area by his parents, Martha and Charles Redford. His father, who began his career as a milkman before becoming an accountant for Standard Oil, worked tirelessly to support the family throughout the Great Depression. However, Charles Redford's long work hours left little time for family, so Robert found a father figure in his uncle David, Charles's brother. David Redford, a gifted football player who spoke 4 languages, greatly influenced young Robert. The time they spent together likely shaped Robert's later pursuits in athletics, as well as his cerebral and artistic interests. David's multifaceted talents and his role in the U.S. military, where he served as an interpreter in General George S. Patton's Third Army, added to his impressive stature in young Robert's eyes. David's visits were cherished moments for Robert. On his furlough, he'd come down to play baseball with me and so forth, Redford fondly recalled. However, these happy times were cut short when David was called to combat in the early 1940s. Tragically, he died in the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, a loss that devastated young Robert. The family dealt with the tragedy in a typical stoic manner of the time, avoiding discussions about the loss. The way the family dealt with it, it just wasn't talked about. It just happened, and you didn't ask a lot of questions, Redford reflected. This lack of grief support left a lasting impact on him, adding a layer of personal sorrow to his journey to stardom. One of the most harrowing stories from Robert Redford's childhood involves his battle with polio, a devastating disease that can lead to severe breathing issues, paralysis, and often death. Growing up in the 1930s and 1940s, Redford was at risk before the polio vaccine nearly eradicated the disease in the 1950s. Recalling this terrifying experience, Redford told NPR's Fresh Air that his case wasn't severe enough to require an iron lung, a common treatment for severe polio cases. It was a case of mild polio, but it was severe enough to put me in bed for 2 weeks, he explained. Redford contracted the disease after swimming in the ocean, a stark reminder of the vulnerability children faced before widespread vaccination. He vividly remembers the morning he realized something was terribly wrong. I couldn't move very well, but I was not paralyzed. I woke up one morning and couldn't move my arms or open my eyes. This frightening brush with polio didn't leave Redford with lasting physical damage, but it certainly left an indelible mark on his memory. His encounter with the disease deepened his appreciation for medical advancements, particularly the polio vaccine developed by Jonas Salk. In a heartfelt tribute, Redford later co-directed Cathedrals of Culture, a documentary about the Salk Institute for Biological Studies. This film highlights the remarkable contributions of Jonas Salk and the Institute's ongoing efforts to push the boundaries of scientific knowledge. Redford's experience with polio is a testament to his resilience and serves as a poignant reminder of the progress made in public health. His life story, filled with both triumphs and challenges, continues to inspire and captivate audiences around the world. Robert Redford's journey through high school and into college is a fascinating tale of ambition, talent, and the unexpected turns life can take. Graduating from Van Nuys High School in 1954, Redford wasn't a top academic performer but excelled in athletics. His prowess on the field earned him a spot at the University of Colorado at Boulder, known for its impressive baseball program. There was even talk that Redford might secure a sports scholarship if he continued to shine in baseball. However, Redford's interest soon shifted after classes began. Instead of pursuing his athletic career, he found himself drawn to the arts. This passion for art led him to drop his baseball ambitions, a decision that significantly altered his college trajectory. Struggling to find his footing socially, Redford gravitated towards a senior member of the Kappa Sigma fraternity. This newfound camaraderie helped him break out of his isolation and boosted his artistic productivity. Yet, it also introduced him to a lifestyle that would ultimately derail his college plans. Redford quickly became immersed in the campus social scene, joining drinking circles, pulling pranks, and spending his time drag racing and riding motorcycles. His academic focus waned, and his grades began to suffer. This period of heavy drinking and rebellious behavior coincided with a profound personal loss, the death of his mother when he was just 18 years old. Her passing intensified his drinking, exacerbating his already precarious situation. The combination of academic neglect and excessive drinking led to the loss of his potential baseball scholarship. Without the financial support, Redford could no longer afford to stay at the University of Colorado. Consequently, he was asked to leave the institution, a turning point that forced him to reassess his path forward. Despite this setback, Redford's departure from college became a catalyst for his future success. He eventually found his way to New York City, where he studied at the Pratt Institute and the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, setting the stage for his illustrious career in acting and directing. Redford's early struggles and decisions, although challenging, were integral in shaping the multifaceted artist and influential figure he would become. His story is a testament to the unpredictable nature of life and the importance of following one's true passions, even when faced with adversity. Shortly after overcoming a bout of polio as a child, Robert Redford encountered a profound family tragedy that would leave lasting scars. According to NPR, when Redford was 10 years old, his mother, Martha Redford, faced a difficult and heartbreaking pregnancy. Despite doctors advising against it due to complications from her previous childbirth with Robert, Martha was determined to expand her family. She gave birth to twin girls, but tragically, they died almost immediately after birth. This dramatic event severely impacted Martha's health. During the delivery, she developed a blood disorder that plagued her for the rest of her life. This chronic condition eventually led to a fatal hemorrhage when Robert was just 18 years old. In 1955, at the young age of 40, Martha Redford passed away, leaving her son to cope with the loss of his mother at a critical juncture in his life. The profound grief and challenges stemming from these events left an indelible mark on Redford. Reflecting on this period, he has shared insights during various interviews, including a poignant speech at the Sundance Film Festival Utah Women's Leadership Celebration, reported by Closer Weekly. Redford recounted his mother's unwavering desire for a larger family, highlighting her resilience and love despite the medical risks involved. Redford's acting career commenced in the late 1950s with appearances on various television shows such as Maverick, Perry Mason, and The Twilight Zone. His stage debut came in 1959 with the play Tall Story, and he gained further recognition with his role in the Broadway production of Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park in 1963. These early experiences helped hone his craft and prepared him for his subsequent success in film. His film debut came with a small role in The War Hunt, 1962, but it was his performance in Inside Daisy Clover, 1965, alongside Natalie Wood, that brought him significant attention. However, it was his role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969, starring opposite Paul Newman, that catapulted him to stardom. This film, a massive hit, firmly established Redford as a leading man in Hollywood. The 1970s were a defining decade for Redford, marked by a series of iconic roles that showcased his range and charisma. He starred in The Candidate, 1972, Jeremiah Johnson, 1972, and The Way We Were, 1973, with Barbara Streisand. His collaboration with Paul Newman continued with The Sting, 1973, a film that won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Other notable films from this period include The Great Gatsby, 1974, 3 Days of the Condor, 1975, and All the President's Men, 1976, in which he portrayed journalist Bob Woodward. These films not only solidified his status as a box office draw, but also demonstrated his ability to tackle diverse roles. In 1981, Redford founded the Sundance Institute in Utah, named after his character in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. The institute supports independent filmmakers and hosts the annual Sundance Film Festival, which has become one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world. This initiative underscored Redford's commitment to nurturing new talent and promoting independent cinema. Redford made his directorial debut with Ordinary People, 1980, a critically acclaimed film that won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Redford. He continued to balance acting and directing with notable films such as The Natural, 1984, and Out of Africa, 1985, which won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. His directorial efforts in A River Runs Through It, 1992, and Quiz Show, 1994, further demonstrated his prowess behind the camera. In the 2000s and 2010s, Redford continued to act, direct, and produce. Some of his notable works during this period include The Horse Whisperer, 1998, which he directed and starred in, and Spy Game, 2001, alongside Brad Pitt. His later career was marked by acclaimed performances in The Company You Keep, 2012, All Is Lost, 2013, and Captain America, The Winter Soldier, 2014. In 2018, he announced his retirement from acting with his final role in The Old Man and the Gun, a fitting end to a remarkable career. For many years, Robert Redford was known as one half of one of Hollywood's most enduring marriages, a rare feat in a town notorious for fleeting unions. According to Closer Weekly, Redford married Lola Van Wagen in 1958, well before he achieved fame and fortune as an actor and filmmaker. The foundation of their marriage was not particularly solid. Redford admitted that part of his motivation for marrying was to prove something to his family. They feared that I was going to go off the deep end, or that I would never amount to anything, or die at an early age. I wanted to prove them wrong, he told The Telegraph. At the time of their wedding, the couple had just $300 between them. Despite these shaky beginnings, their marriage endured for nearly 3 decades. Together, Redford and Van Wagen raised 3 children to adulthood. However, the pressures of fame and the complexities of life eventually took their toll, and the couple divorced in 1985, as reported by People. Reflecting on this period, Redford admitted, "I got lost for a time," describing the disorientation he felt post-divorce. After his divorce, Redford had a few notable relationships, including with actress Sonia Braga and costume designer Kathy O'Rea, but neither lasted. It wasn't until 1996 that he met Sybil Saggers, an artist nearly 20 years his junior. Their connection grew strong over the years, leading to their marriage in 2009. This relationship brought Redford a renewed sense of companionship and stability, complementing his later years with shared artistic pursuits and mutual support. Redford's journey through love and relationships highlights the complexities and challenges that even the most iconic figures face. A little over a decade after experiencing the immediate loss of his newborn twin siblings, Robert Redford faced another devastating tragedy. This time, it was the death of his own child. In 1958, Redford married Lola Van Wagen, a historian from Los Angeles. According to The Mirror, the couple eloped and soon moved to New York, where Redford pursued his studies at the Pratt Institute and began his acting career. By 1959, they had started a family, which would eventually grow to include 3 surviving children. However, their firstborn son, Scott, tragically passed away at just 10 weeks old due to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, a condition that remains mysterious and poorly understood to this day. Reflecting on this heartbreaking period, Redford told People in 1998, "That was a tough hit. It was our first child. We were in New York and we were broke. It was really tough." The young couple, already struggling financially, was deeply affected by this loss. Although Redford rarely spoke publicly about the event over the years, he channeled his grief into action by quietly raising funds for research into the causes of SIDS. His efforts to support SIDS research demonstrate his commitment to helping others avoid the same heartache, underscoring a legacy of both professional success and personal compassion. Following the early and tragic loss of their infant son Scott, Robert Redford and Lola Van Wagen built a large family, which included their children James, or Jamie, Shauna, and Amy. According to Closer Weekly, the family faced continued challenges, particularly with Jamie's health. As detailed in Robert Redford, the biography, Jamie was diagnosed at birth with a severe case of hyaline membrane disease, a potentially fatal respiratory condition. Doctors gave him just a 40% chance of survival. Jamie overcame this early life-threatening illness, but his health struggles were far from over. Throughout his life, he endured numerous medical issues. His father shared with People that Jamie suffered from colitis, a chronic condition causing inflammation of the colon, which can lead to infections and blood flow problems. The colitis eventually caused severe liver complications, and Jamie was diagnosed with cirrhosis. In 1993, at the age of 31, Jamie received a liver transplant. However, the transplant did not resolve all his health problems, necessitating a second liver transplant. During this difficult period, Robert Redford demonstrated immense dedication as a father, frequently flying from New York, where he was filming Quiz Show, to Omaha to be with Jamie in the hospital. Jamie gradually recovered after the second transplant and, despite enduring serious complications, he went on to have a productive career as a filmmaker and producer. He worked passionately for nearly 3 more decades, contributing significantly to the arts and environmental causes, following in his father's footsteps. Tragically, Jamie Redford passed away in 2020 at the age of 58 from bile duct cancer. His death marked the end of a life filled with resilience and creativity, leaving a legacy of films and environmental advocacy that continues to inspire. Robert Redford's journey as a father, marked by deep love and relentless support in the face of his son's lifelong health battles, highlights his strength and commitment to family amidst the pressures of his storied career. Robert Redford's eldest daughter, Shauna, born in 1961, pursued a career as an artist. However, her life took a dramatic and tragic turn in the early 1980s. While attending the University of Colorado, she fell in love with Sid Wells, a journalism student. According to NBC News, their relationship became entwined with a heartbreaking story when Sid Wells was found dead in August 1983, killed by a gunshot wound to the head. The prime suspect was Thane Smyker, who had rented a room in Wells' apartment just months earlier. Although Smyker was arrested, he was released due to insufficient evidence. He subsequently disappeared, leaving behind an abandoned car in Beverly Hills in 1986, and was never seen again. For years, the case remained cold, but in 2010, new ballistic and forensic evidence emerged, strongly implicating Smyker. Despite a warrant being issued for his arrest, he was never located, and the murder case remains officially unsolved. This period was exceptionally difficult for the Redford family, shrouded in grief and uncertainty. Adding to the family's woes, Shauna experienced another life-threatening incident 8 months after Wells' death. While driving her Ford Bronco near Salt Lake City, she lost control and plunged into the icy Jordan River. A local resident, Doreen Stalker Rivers, witnessed the accident and heroically dove in to rescue Shauna, pulling her to safety as she lost consciousness. Robert Redford, deeply grateful for Rivers' bravery, publicly thanked her by inviting her to the premiere of his film The Natural in 1984. Production on the film had been temporarily halted so that Redford could attend Wells' funeral, underscoring the profound impact the tragedy had on his life. This series of traumatic events marked a particularly tumultuous time for the Redford family. Shauna's close brush with death and the unresolved murder of her college sweetheart added layers of complexity and sorrow to their lives. Despite these challenges, the Redford family continued to navigate their personal and professional journeys with resilience and strength, supported by their close-knit bonds and enduring spirit. Throughout his illustrious career, Redford has received numerous awards and honors. These include an Academy Award for Best Director for Ordinary People, a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2016, and an Honorary César Award in 2019. His contributions to film and his advocacy for independent cinema have left an indelible mark on the industry. Beyond his work in film, Redford is known for his environmental activism. He has been a longtime advocate for environmental conservation and renewable energy, serving on the board of the Natural Resources Defense Council and supporting various initiatives through the Redford Center. His commitment to environmental causes underscores his dedication to making a positive impact beyond the silver screen. Robert Redford's legacy in film and environmentalism is immense. He has left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry through his versatile roles, directorial excellence, and support for independent cinema. The Sundance Film Festival continues to be a significant platform for emerging filmmakers, ensuring that Redford's influence will be felt for generations to come. His journey from a young actor with a passion for art to a Hollywood icon and environmental advocate is a testament to his enduring impact and unwavering dedication to his craft and the causes he believes in. Thank you for watching. To support our channel, please subscribe.